Hi, I'm Fabiana Mercurio, and I'm the costume and props designer for Fierce. Just to tell you a bit about my background, I have a Bachelor of Fine Arts in Theater Production Design from York University. I also have a Bachelor of Education, also from York University. I made a lot of connections in school, and I also learned via my education how to put myself out there and into positions in which I'd get noticed for my work. I heavily rely on magazines and actual historical catalogs. Asking your elders, your family members for things they've held on to from the past can honestly be your best friend. I've done a lot of pieces that take place in the 90s and the 80s, and wow, the stack of magazines that I have. The thrift stores are amazing for this as well. Our two characters are very interesting, snappy, witty, disturbed women, and they differ greatly in their approach to life and thus how they look. The show opens with comments made about Jane's clothing, as she has chosen to keep on her prison garb. So for her design, it is important, for me at least, when a character has such a distinct look, that we know exactly the year, the time in which this has happened, and the region. So for Jane, she will be wearing a green jumpsuit because that is the prison garb for women in Ontario. So that's important for me to keep accurate, because that's something that our director wanted, is to make sure that our show is very distinctly in our world. This is a Canadian piece. It takes place in Ontario, and that's something that's amazing to me, and I love working with Canadian artists and doing things in our home. And for Maggie, she is a psychiatrist. She is professional. She has spent many years fighting off her own personal demons. And for me, when I think of that, she is someone who needs to put her best foot forward at all times to be able to quell what's inside of her. So she comes off very poised, but not perfect. So her clothing is simple, but striking. During my hunt for prison garb in my research, I stumbled upon a massive distributor of jumpsuits, of prison jumpsuits. And there was a little cart symbol in the corner, and I was like, wow, I can't believe we can just buy prison jumpsuits. That's crazy. So as I was digging more into the site, and I was kind of clicking through the checkout just to see if I could actually check out, when I got to that point, it had said that I needed my federal ID to continue with the purchase. And I thought, so close. But this was an amazing moment in which, when you think there's a wall, you can keep going. So I immediately thought, well, even though this is a federal website, what if I just email them and reach out? So I did. And they were so nice, and they immediately redirected me to the costume warehouse that they work with. So, a little design tip for any future designers here. If you think you've reached a wall, just grab your shovel and go under it. I feel obligated to say Jane, and the reason for that is because Jane is a teacher, and so am I. And Jane's husband is a writer, and so is mine. So when I first read the play, I thought, oh, these are some strange similarities. So I feel obligated to say Jane in that regard. She has some specific thoughts in the show about the almost the need and the want to save every student, and how she could possibly help the future As one person, she feels like she's maybe done more damage than good, and I think that's a relatable thought for a lot of teachers. Sometimes you feel like, am I really helping this kid, or am I making it harder for them? And it's a fine line to tread. So I do really relate to Jane in that regard as well.